So that's it for today's 2N on Air. I'm now here with Michal Kratochvíl, the CEO of 2N, and we would like to thank you for not only watching today's 2N on Air, but for being so active, for sending us your questions and for participating at polls. Michal, what do you think about today's 2N on Air?
Well, Stepanka, I think it was a great day. Thank you and your team of organizers for all the effort you put into this event. I hope you as our guests could see a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of inspiring presentations. What we wanted to show you today is not only the technology that we are going to bring to the market and where we are heading, but we're trying to introduce new tools that should simplify and speed up your work. And we wanted to share the information that you can always rely on 2N. We are a company that will stay with you and support you during your installations and during your work every day. So thank you very much for coming, and I'm very glad that you were present at this event.
Mm-hmm. And Michal, what do you think our guests should do in order to benefit the most from our event?
Well, I think there has been a lot of information shared, so my personal recommendation would be for you to choose. Focus on one or two things that were the most attractive, the most interesting, the most valuable for you, and follow up on them. If you are new to 2N, try to choose one or two products, test them, and think about these products when you are having your nearest installation. Try them, and we'll prove that what we are showing on the slides is also the reality.
Thank you very much, Michal.
It was my pleasure.
It might seem as the end, but this is just the beginning. We are already preparing the next edition of 2N on Air, which is taking place on 25th of February. Shortly, you will get an invite into your mailbox. So confirm it and secure your place in the upcoming 2N on Air. It's time to switch to our showroom, where our speakers are eager to answer your questions you have been sending today. Welcome to Q&A session of 2N on Air. It's time to answer the questions that you send us today. I'm now in 2N showroom together with our experts that you already know. And let's start with the lady. Radka Talianová, Technology Partner Manager, Tomáš Klíma, Chief Sales Officer, Tomáš Vystavil, Chief Product Officer, and Gareth Robinson, Product Manager. Are you ready, guys?
Sure, we are.
So let's start with the first question. Do you plan to develop on wall-mounted units for retrofit installations?
I can answer that, I believe. Well, we already have in a roadmap accessory for our current answering units, Indoor View and Indoor Compact and Indoor Talk. That will enable us to sell it onto on-wall installations. And yes, we do plan to introduce new units that will be on-wall mountable.
Thank you. Thanks. Is the intercom and access unit 3.0 firmware compatible with existing 2.0 2N devices?
Well, I think I'll answer that actually. We don't have an access unit 3.0 right now. So I think what's probably meant by that question is whether our intercoms and access units are compatible with the upcoming mobile key version 3.0 that you probably heard about earlier. And the answer there is yes, absolutely. There's no hardware change needed to work with that solution. Just need to update the firmware on your existing intercoms and access units to take advantage of the great leap forward that we've made in this mobile key version. Even if you use the new version of the app when it's released with the old firmware, it'll still work. It just won't have the extra boost of our reliable Bluetooth developments.
Thank you, Gareth. Do you plan to integrate 2N devices into Axis Camera Station?
So this is question related to the integrations. I have good news for you because we are already integrated with Axis Camera Station, and this year we upgraded the integration with bidirectional video. And good news is also that our devices come with a core license, which is cheaper than third-party intercoms. So use our 2N intercom with Axis Camera Station.
Thank you. What is the cost for 2N mobile video? Why is this service paid?
So I will reply the part of the cost of 2N mobile video. There are actually several ways how to charge or how the customer can be charged for using the 2N mobile video service. Either it's per device, which per each mobile phone, or it's per apartment, per flat. If it's per device, then the MSRP is €2 per device. If it's per apartment, it's €3 per apartment, and there can be up to 4 different mobile in one apartment. And as for the cost, maybe Thomas, you can reply that.
Yeah, well, why we do charge for the service itself? First of all, we believe it's a professional service. The reliability of the service, speed, the security is a thing that we believe represents a value for the customers. So that's why we charge for it. And also we charge for it because it represents a tool for you, how to charge it to your customers and actually to create a business model, recurrent business model for you. So because if we would give it away for free, it would be just taken by the customers as something, like a gadget. And we believe this is a really professional service that you can build your business at.
Thank you. Are you planning to switch to an Access Commander into a cloud?
So as it's Access Commander related, I think I'll take that one. So Access Commander is our commercial access control platform, and we know that generally in the commercial segments there's a preference to have on-site, so not network connected necessarily access control platforms. So our focus for cloud development is going to remain in the residential space with our upcoming My2N residential access. Having said that, there will be some development that we've got planned which can provide some kind of cloud access to commercial installations. So we plan to make Access Commander compatible with our remote configuration service available through My2N, and we hope to deliver that around the end of next year. So certainly it will bring that kind of cloud remote functionality for Access Commander.
Thank you, Gareth. Which modes of Bluetooth access do you provide?
I think that's me again. So right now in our app, there's the option of being able to tap in app. So tap in app's great for where you need to remotely activate a door opening, maybe in a parking installation without needing to get out of the car. Also for really secure installations, you can force tap in app so that you can leverage the additional security of the phone itself, like the screen lock. We also provide the touch mode. So that gives super convenience for the user who can touch the reader lightly with the back of the hand or with their elbow through clothing, and that will authenticate with the app itself as well. We're looking into further modes off the back of our reliable Bluetooth development, but for the time being, these are the main modes. Also worth mentioning, actually, with upcoming firmware for the intercoms, if there's a camera enabled, you'll be able to trigger Bluetooth authentication with what we call wipe mode by placing your hand over the camera view without actually touching it.
Thank you. Is the 2N camera in the intercoms able to read QR codes instead of a PIN code?
I can answer that, I believe. Well, the camera in the intercom is actually able to read it. What we are not able to do on the current intercoms is to actually make some decision based on the QR code right now, because we don't have enough computing power in current intercoms. So we can stream it, for example, to some third-party solution on a server and then do something with the QR code. All of the next intercoms we are introducing, we were mentioning 2N IP style, for example, that will be based on the Axis chipset, RPEC, for example. They will be able to do it and do actually all the logic in the device itself. So it's going to be much faster, for example.
Thank you very much. What are the best tools to offer to integrators during the COVID-19 pandemic?
That would be replied by me, most probably. We all have some challenging times meeting people face to face or your customers. What I would definitely recommend to switch to all of the online tools which we are using. starting with the project designer. That's definitely a good asset for you, where you can basically create the whole project, create the different schematics, prepare the whole bill of material which is necessary for the customer. You can also share the picture of the device, how it will look like in his particular specification, and then you can share it with the customer. Then we shouldn't forget about the virtual experience, the online tool, where you can show basically customer how the product would look like in a real life scenario, such as residential or commercial application. And I would also like to mention the Access Commander demo, the software which is suitable for setting up the access rules towards your premises, towards your on-site or installations, which are available on our web pages. Yeah. Anything else you would add, guys? I think
That's it.
Covers it.
So let's switch to the next question. When will be Mobile Key version 3.0 available?
So I'll take this. So we're working on Mobile Key version 3.0. We've just been talking about it a little bit. That's going to be available, we're aiming for just after the end of the first quarter next year. So all of the extra development and the big leap forward thanks to our reliable Bluetooth work will be available then.
Okay, thank you, Gareth. Do you plan to develop answering units with Android? If not, what is the reason why?
I think I can answer that. We do have Android answering unit in our portfolio, Indoor Touch 2.0, and we do plan to keep it as it is for now. What we do plan, but what we do plan to do with the new developments that we do focus towards to our own operating system based answering units. The reason is that we have better control over the firmware. For us, it's more, let's say, predictable development, and for the needs of our customers, especially in the MDU, they do prefer units based not on Android because they don't use these, let's say, possibilities of integration, but they do seek something which is very reliable, lightning fast, and offer them set of features that they can use within the MDU. They don't that much need any integration possibilities with third-party apps. We do plan to keep the Android answering units, however, for the single villa projects mainly, where there is a home automation, for example, and there is need for some integration with a third-party app to be able to control the smart home installation. But it's just really a small subset of the whole let's say, the business we're doing with answering units.
Thank you so much. Can you mention some guidelines you're using for the development of new products related to cybersecurity?
I think I can take this one as well. You know that we were owned by Axis company, so there are several guidelines we are overtaking from Axis, being well known for the, let's say, security development of their cameras. So they have recommendations and guidelines for the development. It's really technical, but it's related to how the code is developed on the, let's say, R&D level, and also we're using some penetration testing from third-party companies and some code reviews by software like Black Duck, for example, that allows us to find some errors or possible holes in the code before we will release it. And also we're using some third-party companies to test our products with the penetration testing and some stress testing as well. So yes, we do have really a subset of methods how to ensure that our products are safe.
Thank you so much. Do you plan to do language variants for Project Designer? Which ones and when?
I can reply that with the Project Designer. You know that today it's available in English version only. I'm very happy that even though it's one language only, it's very well used and it's well spread among you, our customers. And yes, we do plan to add new languages or other languages. During next year, we're going to introduce a couple of the languages which would follow. And if I could mention some of them, we will definitely be focusing on adding Spanish, Italian, French, and German. Yeah, so 4 new languages coming next year.
That's great, thank you. What is your latest success in integrations and how it will help integrators?
This is kind of hard questions because we have many successful integration and you can find out more about them on our 2N Integration Hub. But as the latest success, I would say that this is our integration with InRange, which is a security and access control platform, where 2N intercoms not only call and send a video stream, but it's also part of the alarm monitoring. So we can send statuses about the device, calling statuses, and more. And what is the benefit for integrators? I think the biggest advantage is that you can now offer integrated package, access control, emergency communication, and it's all pre-done for you. It's working, it's tested.
Thank
Maybe I
you.
would like to just underline also the integration with Milestone, which is one of the longest which we are having, and we are still developing it, still working on it. And I think that's one of the most successful one which we are having in the VMSs. So I think
Yep.
that's an important one.
Thank
I
you. Where can I see some examples of automation function? Do you have library of possible scenarios?
Can answer that. The best way would be to go to our website where we have prepared a section with description of automation features, and there are even some pre-configured scenarios that we know that are popular with our customers. So you can download these scenarios and use them in your device with just small modifications depending on your connection of the, for example, inputs and outputs on the intercom. If you do have something more demanding, you can always contact our technical support or to use our technical webinars where you can ask or train how to use our automation features. We actually do have a plan to use this section on our website to add more and more of these, let's say, pre-configured features for you. We have even some features that our customers share with us. So we believe this section will really grow, and you can use it as a valuable source of the information or ideas how to leverage on this, I think, beautiful feature that our intercoms and access units are providing.
Awesome. What is the best scenario where to install IP style? What is the price for product?
So scenario, if we talk about IP style different verticals, we believe that it would fit both residential and office or commercial vertical. When talking about residential, we believe that it could be well used in the end use. Basically putting all the directory of different apartments which are inside the building, but it would also suit the need of office or commercial installations where you can get the directory of all the departments or all the people which are in the different departments. The company can show their logo, their addresses, and so on. So that's for the scenario of installation. As for the cost of the device, we are setting the MSRP right now. It would be around 3,000 euros MSRP.
Thank you. Could you name brand of home automation systems you are integrated with?
Definitely, we are very successful with offering our intercoms with home automation for single villa applications. From the worldwide players, I can mention Crestron, Control4, and from the European brands, you can connect us to Basalt, Fibaro, Loxone, and many more.
I think it's good to go to our integration hub
again,
where you can find all of the information, even with some configuration files and so on. Right?
Exactly. You can follow some step-by-step manual on how to connect to an intercom to their panels.
Can we install 2N access units outdoors, or is it mainly for indoor use?
I'll take
Access
this one.
question.
So all of our intercoms and access units are rated and certified for outdoor use. And it's probably important to note that's not just with our own internal testing, which is extensive and goes beyond what's required for each certification level, but actually externally verified and certified as well. So the Access Unit 2.0, for example, with an IP rating of 54 is absolutely fine, and in fact mainly intended for installation in outdoor environments.
Okay, thank you, Gerrit. We see facial recognition as a trend of today's customer requests. Why do you prefer mobile credentials?
I can answer that because
okay.
in my presentation I was mentioning actually the reasoning. The thing is that we believe that facial recognition was intended mainly for seeking people in the crowd with usage for access control, which is the scenario that we're talking about with intercoms. The facial recognition, first of all, is able only with intercom with camera. If we're talking about the access unit, there is no camera at all, so the facial recognition actually is not applicable for, let's say, all of the access points within the building. And also there are concerns about the privacy and security of the facial recognition still. So it's mainly spread within the Asian countries where they have different feeling about these things. But within the Europe, the adoption rate is really slow, very slow compared to the Asia. And in some countries, it's really something that is not moving at all because of the concerns like cultural differences that people don't want actually to give away a credential that can't be then switched off. Like unlike the mobile phone, that if I don't want to be trackable, I can always switch it off, disable the credential, and behave to it or treat it as a standard RFID card or any other credential. Whereas my face, I can't actually switch it off easily.
Thank you, Tomáš. Can I use standard 2N intercom with Crestron, or do I need some special integration?
I will respond this. So if you buy 2N intercom from our distributors, you can be assured that you can connect it to Crestron home automation. Thanks to the Rava SIP, which is a Crestron version of SIP, which we natively support in our products, we can call to up to, I think, 16 Crestron panels.
Thank you, Radka. And next question. Do you offer new firmware releases to your customers for free? For how long do you support products?
I will take this one. Yes, we do provide our customers with free of charge firmware releases, firmware updates. It's important to say that we are launching firmwares usually 3 times per year, so it's a regular development and we are not charging for that. And the second part of the for how long is it valid? You can be sure that you can get the firmware upgrades basically till 10 years after the purchase date. So that's something I would still consider like a long-lasting solution for you and your customers.
Thank you.
We're trying to support it 10 years after the, let's say, sales of the product. There's obviously, for example, some features that are available only on some like newer processors. If we will have firmware for IP Vario, which is using older processor than IP style, there will be certain features that we are not able to provide. But for example, the security updates we will provide.
Thank you. Next question. What about a multi-company solution for an office building? Does Access Commander support installation this scenario?
Yes, so yeah, absolutely. Access Commander is built to be able to handle this kind of requirement. So one of the organizational structures within Access Commander when setting it up is actually company. So a typical building like our own, where there may be 1 or 2 different commercial entities in the same building, you can set up individual companies and have separate access rights and separate user groups, etc. for each company. So 100%, yeah, it's able to handle this kind of use case.
Thank you, Gareth. And the next question. Can you integrate your access control and readers with Milestone, and how?
Yes, we can do that with our plugin for Access Commander and Xprotect. We have a new version, which I was mentioning in my presentation, and with this plugin, we not only send access events to Xprotect, but also security operators can control our devices, for example, from the floor plans or building plans. So they have good visibility of what's going on around the building.
Thank you, Radka. And next question. Are you certified for Cisco Call Manager?
Yes, we are certified with Cisco Call Manager. It has actually been one of the very first integration which we did. It's very important in the commercial vertical where we need to be integrated with the telecommunication solution inside the building. And I have to say that it's actually one of the most successful which we ever had. It's visible even now after 10 years after the integration has been done, that we are still receiving new projects where we can see that the specification already contains the need or the necessity of the intercom being able to integrate with Cisco Call Manager. So yes, it's possible, and it's very valuable integration for us.
Thank you so much. Next question. Do you testing your product also in salt water to mimic tropical environment?
I can answer that. We do. We don't do this kind of testing in-house in Tuan. We use external company for that. That is equipped by the salt chamber, so it's not like a submerged in the salt water, but it's a salt water chamber with like salt mist. So it really emulates the environment nearby the sea, where there is a lot of like salty mist. So yes, we do the testing, but not in Tuan. It's external company providing these testings for us.
Thank you, Tomáš. And it's time for the last question. Will you continue with Tuan on Air in 2021? That's a question for me. Yes, definitely. We are already preparing the next edition of Tuan on Air, which is scheduled for 25th of February. So get ready for it. You will receive all necessary information very shortly. And that was the last question. If you didn't hear your answer, if you didn't hear your question, do not worry, because we will answer all of the questions that we received today. If you haven't done it already, visit the section dedicated to Tuan products in our platform. You can have a look at the highlights of Tuan portfolio. And also there are workshops which are focusing on Tuan solutions for the residential and commercial projects which are now going on. And in addition to it, you can still participate in our polls until the end of the week. And before we finish, I would like to invite you to the upcoming edition of Tuan on Air, which, as you know, is scheduled for 25th of February next year. And that's it, really. Thank you very much for joining us today. Stay safe and see you on 25th of February.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.